Success is a decision. To decide means to cut off other options, right? If you choose one thing, you don't then do the other thing because you're doing that one thing. So every decision we make, we cut off other options. Now, sometimes we get lost in that and we think, okay, well, what if I just did a little bit of this other thing? We have one foot in, one foot out of a few different things at one time. But I want to give you an example of one of the students that I had this past summer in my summer studio. One of my flute students was playing the Mendelssohn Scherzo excerpt, which is asked on pretty much every professional orchestra audition. Now, there is a long stretch of notes at the end in which there is not room to breathe. Now, some people have little catch breaths and leave a note out, but if you want to be taken seriously in a professional orchestra audition with this excerpt, you can't really take that breath. And I was asked that question in studio class. They asked, well, what do you think about the last breath? And I said, there is no last breath. This person had been struggling for years to make the breath. In the lesson, we decided, okay, you are either going to completely run out of gas, you're going to completely run out of air trying to make this breath, or you're going to do it. There's no in between. There's no in between option. There's no, let me see how I can craft this so it can be a little bit better, or let me just put the breath mark in parentheses just in case. No, nothing like that. We cut off that option. And when I tell you within 20 minutes, this student could play the excerpt and make the breath, I was astounded. But I think it's because we outlined what it would look like to cut off the other option. Being willing to say, okay, if I cut off this other option, then running out of air trying is what it looks like. Let's say you're preparing for an audition or a competition or something like that, and you are afraid you won't have enough time. This is tale as old as time, to be honest. People say this all the time. What if I don't have enough time to implement the plan the way that I think it should be? Well, what does happen? What happens if you haven't practiced as much as you thought you would? What if you don't follow the plan perfectly? Do you quit? Do you give up? Do you entertain quitting and giving up? Or do you do as much as possible regardless? Let's say you're a week out from the audition, you feel ill-prepared. Do you still take it or do you give up? You can decide that ahead of time, but I think it's really important to visualize what it would be to decide a thing and fail at it, right? What does that look like? And are you willing to do that? Are you willing to run out of breath as many times as it takes to get it? And to visualize what it actually does mean in the process and what it looks like. Because sometimes we find ourselves in that middle area, that middle space, and we haven't quite gotten to where we want to be, but we still have time left. Like, I had such a big goal this year to grow my YouTube channel. And I have about 860 subscribers right now. And it's September. And for a minute, I was like, well, there's always next year. It's September. I have 3 or 4 months left. So that's what I'm going to do. If I do try and I don't gain one more subscriber, will it be worth it? Yes, I have to decide that ahead of time. It's worth putting out videos every day, every other day, until the end of the year, because I want practice doing this. I want to keep going. And I don't think I'm going to get to where I want to go by deciding to not make videos, by deciding to default and go back on my consistency. So deciding what failing looks like and keeping going is actually such an amazing skill to build. Deciding success means, hey, before I get to this success, this is what going all in looks like. This is what doing my best looks like. And of course, that looks different every day. And you will be able to do things in varying degrees every day. You might need to force yourself some days to show up for yourself. But we're cutting off that other option. There is no third breath in the Mendelssohn Scherzo. Just like there is no other option than whatever you've decided to do. So you will save so much mental energy and time and space in your brain by deciding and picturing, what does that commitment look like? What does that decision actually look like in the future? It's going to be so helpful to visualize, because planning for the worst case scenario and deciding, oh, I did think about if I didn't get one more subscriber, or if I lost 50, I'm still going to show up. And I think that that's a really powerful thing to say you're willing to do, because a lot of the time we think that this work is only worth it if we see results, and we're never entitled to results. Let me know a decision you've made and what it would look like if you were in the midst of what you thought would be failure, how you would keep going, or something like that. Really write this down, brainstorm about it, because in a hard moment, it will feel horrible. You will feel like giving up and quitting instead of pushing forward. And pushing forward is only possible if you have something to push against. And pushing against is that decision. That decision that you're making will be the launching pad for what's possible. But if you don't make that decision, we get lost in a sea of possibilities. And we end up sort of spinning around in circles. Let me know in the comments if you agree with this, if you have any questions, and I will see you next time.